I bought a Tesla without having home charging. I bought a Tesla without having perhaps the biggest advantage of owning an electric vehicle: home charging. People told me it could be done. Others said it eliminated the purpose of owning an EV. I knew I wanted a Tesla, and I knew I could probably get away with not having access to charging at home. I traded my ICE vehicle for a Tesla Model Y. Here's how it went. The strategy I planned to use without having home charging was pretty simple. There's a supercharger a few miles away, and there's also low-level charging at my local grocery store. The Model Y also came with a mobile connector, so there was another way I could charge in a pinch. There are also some distinct advantages I have over others, including the fact that I do not commute to and from work, and I'm also situated only a handful of miles from things like the store and shopping, and most of my errands can be completed without driving more than 15 miles back and forth. A common misconception about being reliant on supercharging is the cost. Many believe that supercharging is so expensive that it costs about the same as buying gas. However, there are many workarounds for that, some of which I have used weekly to save money and increase convenience. Here's how I've made it work, and how I suggest you can too. Charge during off-peak hours as much as possible. The biggest tip I have for those who choose to buy an EV but do not have access to at-home charging is the advantage that is off-peak rates. At my local supercharger, it costs 47 cents from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., and just 18 cents from 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. That means if you can wake up a little earlier or go to bed a little bit later, you'll save nearly 3 times the money. This is not to say that I never charge during peak hours, but I try to save the longer charges for off-peak hours, and it's been a huge advantage for me. One morning recently, I was at 9% and I charged to 90%. It only cost me about $11. Charging during peak hours, that same charge would have been roughly $26. Tesla. Supercharger access has proven to be a challenge for one company in my Bronco Sport. Going from 40 miles to a full tank, roughly 400 miles, would have cost me well over $40. It's not so bad either. The supercharger I use is located at a Sheetz, so I'm able to go in, grab a coffee and a breakfast sandwich, charge, watch YouTube in the car, and sometimes I even get to enjoy a nice sunrise on the way home. Friday mornings are sacred. If I have to go at night, my fiancé and I usually use the opportunity to spend time together. We'll run over to the supercharger, grab snacks, and watch whatever we're binging on Netflix right now. It's Narcos. Many people said that supercharging would cost me more than filling up my gas car. According to my Tesla app, that simply isn't the case. While I have been forced to charge during peak hours at times for about a month and a half, in about 15 charging sessions, I've saved about $70. Over the course of a year, that would equate to over $800. Utilize other charging solutions. Although my charging stats above show that I've only used it 1% of the time, I have the advantage of free charging at my grocery store. It is a Shell Recharge EV charging station, and there are 2 of them at the store. I used my J1772 adapter to charge, and it charges slowly at 11.5 kilowatts. However, it is great if you're doing your shopping for the week and you're stuck at the store for an hour or two. If you have 1 or 2 of these at your grocery store, just remember to be courteous and charge until you have a reasonable amount of range. What I'll do moving forward, one ongoing effort has been pushing my leasing office to install a few EV chargers in our neighborhood. Because we rent, we are truly at the mercy of what the leasing office will allow, and what they'll do to make the lives of EV owners easier. I'm hoping to continue pushing the management company to a point that will eventually get EV chargers in the neighborhood, especially while I live here, and for those who will live here after we leave. Source: reposted and summarized from Joey Klender at teslarati.